What is an art style? Why does everybody want one? Why is it where everybody always chooses to start? Art style is like your essence. It's like your handwriting in pictures. It's what your hand and your brain naturally want to do when you're drawing or making any kind of artwork, whether it be sculpting or painting. It's how the people around you who know what you do recognize your work before they know that it's yours. They can pinpoint it, point it out of a group of artworks, and say, that one's yours. And you say, yes, that's mine. How do you know? And they say, well, it just looks like something you would have done. I've had several favorite artists throughout the years with specific art styles that I have absolutely adored. And perhaps I'll link a few of them in the description in case, because, artists supporting artists, why not give them a shout out? But a lot of people, especially young, newer artists coming into the art field, they want to have their art style immediately because it is such an important thing and it is such a special thing. Of course, people want to have one right off the bat. In a way, art style can also be seen as a simplification of a form, because unless you're trying to make a photocopy of something, whether, being a human camera, the way you draw something is going to omit certain elements of whatever you're making artwork of. You're not going to draw every single nook and cranny and shadow and light and nick and whatever on the form that you're drawing. You're going to leave certain things out. And if you try to do that immediately, if you sit down and you try to draw a dog in a stylized way without actually studying how a dog looks, you're going to be choosing, what to leave out. But you might not know what you're leaving out. You might not actually understand how a dog's body works, so you might leave out something very important, and your dog looks like a cat. And you don't understand why, and you just think, my art is bad, I'm a bad artist, why can't I draw dogs, my dogs suck. I need to try a different art style, etc. But when you choose something and you study it, and you make several drawings of it, if you look at something in various poses, shapes, and lightings, over time, you learn more and more about how that form works in a three-dimensional space. You learn what it's made of, why we look at that and we know exactly what it is, what are the defining elements. You can draw a fox with round ears or triangle ears, a round tail or a pointed tail. You could make it blue. Somebody would still understand what it was if you've drawn the elements in a way that shows you understand what you're doing. What I'm trying to say is, when you study a form and you know what you're looking at and you know where things go, when you know how that thing moves and what parts of it make it really feel like what it is, like whatever is important to you about that form, like for a cat, maybe it's the eyes, maybe it's the shortness of the muzzle, maybe it's the smallness of the ears, whatever you see, what stands out to you in your artist's eye about that figure, you can capture those and exaggerate those more prominently, and that is what makes it yours. Because everybody sees the world a little differently. That is what makes the art community so much fun. Because if everybody drew the same way, or if there were 16 different styles that one person could choose from to draw in, it would get pretty boring after a while. Thousands and thousands of artists posting artwork online for us to see, and I'm talking about the artists who make their art by themselves, not using stolen images or a hodgepodge from AI or whatnot. Artists who are drawing things who are putting in the effort, putting in the hours, studying, drawing. Everybody sees the world in their own beautiful, crazy way. And it's just like how my red might not be the same as your red. You know, we can't look through each other's eyeballs and see what the world looks like through each other's eyes. But artists make that happen with art. They can show somebody what their version of the world looks like through the pictures they draw of it or the sculptures they make. They can show people what is important to them, what stands out to them. When you look out at that field, what is it that you see? What emotion does that make you feel, and what are you putting into your painting? Art style will grow and change with you as you grow and change. As you get older and you see more things, and you feel more things, and your experiences of the world become more layered and more complex, your art style will shift with you. But that doesn't make it any less yours. And you can look back in 10 years at what your younger self was drawing and see and remember how you felt when you were drawing that piece, because you can look at it and you see that style you were drawing in and you remember what was important to you, what stood out to you in those moments, and what you chose to capture with your hand. The older you get and the more artwork that you make, the more things that you see, the more things that you draw, the more refined, the more unique, the more recognizable your art style will become, the more unified your gallery will be. I'm the only one with my hands and my eyes. I'm the only one who can make my art happen, and if I wasn't here, neither would my art be, because nobody else can make it for me. Anyone else can make their own art, and hopefully will continue to, and all the artists that I look up to will continue making their art as well. But they can't make mine. They can't make my art. So I will keep drawing, and I will keep painting. And as I do, my style will grow and change as I grow and change. And when I reach 34 in 10 years, I can look back at the art today and think and remember where I was and what I was going through and the crazy years that I'm growing and changing in right now. And maybe when I'm 34, there will be new things that are important to me and new things that I'm seeing, because I'll have new experiences and it'll be beautiful, and I'll incorporate them, and I'll learn new things. I'll learn new techniques. I'll get better, and I'll incorporate, and I'll adjust, and I'll change. And it'll still be mine. And it'll still have some element of what it was before, but older and more mature, like a tree that's always branching out and expanding. So what is an art style? Well, in my opinion, it's a combination of what you see, what you've studied, what you choose to leave out onto the medium you are using, whether it be digital art or pencil and paper, a blot of paint, or a ball of clay. What you choose to include and to leave behind is what makes your artwork resemble you. So start with the basics, learn your footing, understand what you're seeing, draw it again, and draw it again, and be patient. And in time, you will find your own branches.